Welcome to another edition of Speak Now or Forever Hold Your Peace. Hey folks, so it's been a couple days since I did the last one, and basically today's episode, few of you have requested it obviously, CFL versus the NFL, or for you not so smart people, the Canadian Football League versus the National Football League, which is in the United States of America. I'm a CFL fan compared to the NFL. I've always grown up with it from when I was first introduced to football at the age of 5 through my dad when he was coaching. And I played the game, of course, for about 8 years, and I always knew the CFL. I only knew of the NFL at a young age through like a book. There was a book that had NFL stories from each year, and that was about it. I didn't really know the NFL in any other way. So I grew up liking the CFL, and then of course as I got older I started to see the NFL on TV, but the thing is it had no relevance to me. I didn't know the game. There's no team in the Edmonton area. There's no team anywhere in Canada, so I have no relationship with it. And when I watch the game, I find it boring. Like, to me, the game is slow. You know, they have on average 40 seconds per snap to get the ball off. I know sometimes they can get up to 25 seconds depending on the situation, but the game, it feels slow. Like the CFL, it moves faster. There's only 20 seconds in between play. It's quicker. You have to have more time in the NFL, obviously, and you can see that when you watch the game, there's a lot of interruptions in between plays. So when they have it on TV, there's a lot of interviewing and talking to the color commentator and the play-by-play guy as they analyze the game, and they go over each play, and they have lots of time to do replays. And in the CFL, you don't have all that much time a lot of times, depending on the play. More often than not, when you have like a 4 or 5 yard run, there isn't very much time to do any kind of replay. Now, I'll give the NFL a lot of credit. Their broadcasting on TV at this point has been superior to the CFL. Maybe it's because the production team just has got a lot more experience. Maybe there's just better people out there for the job. But when you actually are at a football game, like you go watch the CFL, especially if you come to like a place like Edmonton, or if you're fortunate enough to go to Regina and be at Mosaic Field, and you watch the Riders play a game, especially Winnipeg or Edmonton or even Calgary, which is like unbelievable. You see the intensity in the stadium, and then you watch the game, and the energy that comes off the field and the playing that happens out there is superb. Like, it's exciting, it's quick. There's a lot of, you don't know what's going to happen on the field because there's such a variety of possibilities that they could do. Like the field being 65 yards wide and so much longer with the 20-yard end zones, the possibilities that they could call for the plays are so huge compared, like in my opinion, compared to the NFL. Like they only have 53 1/3 yards wide, so they're losing almost 13 yards on the field, and they've got 10-yard end zones. So you get to the end zone, now you're very limited to what kind of play you can call. Like if you compare to the CFL, where you line up, let's say on the 5-yard line, so you've got 5 yards plus another 20 yards in the end zone and another 13 yards wider that you can use to try and score, compared to having 10 yards, well, okay, 15 yards if you call it, and a narrower field. There's only so many plays that you can run. You can, and I've seen this a lot of times where there's such a small area to throw in, you're limited. And to me, I like variety. I tend to enjoy variety on the field, and the fact that you can have your players moving around, in the NFL, of course, you can only have one guy at a time moving up and down the field, like vertically. Like you can have them moving horizontally, but at the same time, you can only have one guy moving. and he can't move vertically up the field. That's a running back. He can't run up to the line of scrimmage. And okay, so in the NFL, with the 11-man on the field per side and the 4 downs, and I have watched games. It's not like I don't watch them. I struggle to get through a complete game because it tends to, I don't want to sound mean or anything, but it kind of almost puts me to sleep to the point that I'm switching channels. And I see in the game not much in terms of a variety of calls, okay? They have a tendency to run a lot of narrow type situations where when they run a pass pattern, more often than not, you see the ball and it's a streak pattern. Like, it's not a hook or a button pattern or a post play, and they're not doing like an inside fake to the outside. A lot of times they seem to have very little room to run any kind of a decent pattern that it's the same thing over and over. I know that a lot of the plays can be a wide range depending on who's coaching and the style of offense that you run. But even still, when you've got a certain offense like San Francisco, you know, they run that very pass-oriented offense. You still don't see a whole lot of variety, and that tends to be, of course, because of the rules. Now, imagine in the NFL if your receiver or a set of receivers could run across behind the quarterback seconds before they snap the ball. Now, imagine the possibilities that would open if they could do that. In the CFL, of course, you can have that as your choice. You can have 2 or 3 receivers running around trying to determine for the quarterback whether or not there's man coverage or zone coverage, and it gives you an advantage. Me playing the game, being a quarterback, I loved the offense. I liked the high-scoring games, and I liked trying to make the defense have to challenge the offense instead of, you know, the offense having to play according to what the defense does. More often than not in the NFL, that seems to be the case. So, the CFL, I find that you don't necessarily have to have the best players in the game in order to be, in my opinion, the best league. I love the high scoring. I love the fact that it's so quicker and there's so much variety involved, and the ability to open up the offense. It really makes the game much more entertaining. Now you've got certain things in the CFL that add to that. You've got the single point, and I know that's a very touchy subject with a lot of people. A lot of people cannot understand why you get a single point on a field goal or on a punt. In the CFL, it's not a failure. The CFL's single point gives the offense and your special teams more options when it comes to playing on the field. Now, in the NFL, when you have a field goal attempt, basically it's either good or no good, and that's it. There's nothing. There is no possible run back unless, of course, it's very short and it doesn't land in the end zone. And the returner doesn't always take it out anyway. Sometimes they just let it bounce in the end zone and that's it. It's done. Which to me is boring. It's just, you know, whatever. It's so stupid. In the CFL, if you let it stay in the end zone, you're giving up a point. And in a lot of times, that single point can make the difference between losing the game or not losing, right? Because think about this. You get the single point, and instead of a 3-point game, now you've got a 2-point game. And what that does is for the offense on the next play, within the last, let's say, 2 minutes to a minute in the game, if they kick a field goal, instead of tying the game and going to overtime, now you can win the game. So that single point gives you the ability to win the football game. In the NFL, no single point tends to make the scoring, in my opinion, a lot more predictable than in the CFL. You can't get a single point. you can get a safety and you can get a 2-point convert on a touchdown, but that's it. You can miss your convert, but adding an extra point in the CFL, it opens the game up so to such wider possibilities, and it makes the game a lot more exciting. And alongside with the second point, now you've got the return. How often do you see in the NFL a missed field goal return? Probably not very often at all. I know there are 1 or 2, I don't know, 5 in a season maybe. And in the CFL, you can get quite a few. You can get 2 or 3 in a game, depending if that field goal kicker is doing a good job or not that day. And you can get exciting returns all the way for like 120, 125 yards for a touchdown. And the possibility of that happening during a game is really exciting to the fans of the league. Imagine, you're sitting there, and the guy's kicking a field goal, and you're saying, if he can miss this field goal, we have a chance to tie the game. Or we have a chance to widen our lead and make this win ours for the taking. The possibilities out there are just huge. And you can't get that in the NFL. Like, yeah, you get your odd kick return and your punt return touchdown, to increase the excitement. But 9 times out of 10 on a punt, you got your kick return going, oh, free touch, I don't want to touch the ball. And then of course you got all these NFL guys running down the field going, oh, let's stop the ball, let's keep it from going out of the end zone, into the end zone so that we can get on the 1-yard line. That's not very exciting in my opinion. Like, that's predictable and boring. Like, how can you have that? But I guess, in the NFL, the game is so popular that there's no need to fix stuff like this. Yeah, it really can lead in the CFL, all the scoring and the rules that are in place for the game really tend to make the game a lot more exciting. I've been to 6 Grey Cups now, and I have seen some very fun and very exciting games that, to me, would blow the doors out of any NFL game. Yeah, the TV production in the NFL really does tend to make the game look great, but when you actually break it down and you eliminate it and you watch it play to play, it can really just bore you to tears. So, I know it's going to be brief. I try to get this in within 6 minutes or so it's hard to really get a detailed explanation about the CFL versus the NFL. I hope you enjoy this. Guys at Roughing at the Whistle website, sorry for the delay. I know it should have been a little bit earlier, but things happen during the week and you can't really predict it. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you have any comments, comment in the comment section. If you have any suggestions or if you have any questions for me, let me know and I will try to answer them on the next video. Alright guys, take care. Have a good day.